My name is Leonard Mangano, and this is my self-critique for my week 1 project. As you can see, I decided to start out with the same clip as the tutorial, just so I can learn what I'm doing in order to apply it to the other scenes. Now, I really enjoyed doing the trackers. I find it very enjoyable. I know it's just monotonous and very repetitive, but there's a piece that you can find in there. So I really enjoyed setting up the trackers. What I ran into a couple of small problems. My grid just was not changing. So I would solve and the grid was just staying vertical the entire time. It wasn't until I actually continued on in the tutorial and saw that you can create the plane and set that as the ground that I was able to adjust my grid. And I'm not exactly sure why. So I found that interesting. I also ran into another problem, which I'm not sure it's a problem or not, but in the tutorial the lens distortion seemed to be much greater than I got in my shot. Now, I don't know if that's because of the placement of the trackers or what, but as you can see in my exported files here, I did get a small change from 1920 by 1080 to 1936 by 1088. So it's very small, whereas in the tutorial it was quite a bit larger. I don't know if that's a problem, but I did it to the best of my abilities, and I will be inquiring about that tomorrow. Now, on the other hand, setting up these planes, it's cool to watch it in your quad perspective view, because then you can see everything that's going on and really watch that 3D space come together. The only issue I ran into with this table here was getting it to be quite online. I got it close, but it's not perfect, and it was just difficult to get the points set right. If I could adjust them by hand, I'd probably be able to get it a lot closer, but I overshot this picture frame a bit. It still encompasses the whole thing, but I get a little bit of the wall in there as well, so I'll have to do some refining on that. I did quite a few passes on this, and every time I'd solve it, I'd have to remove all of my cards and planes. So this one I was pretty happy with. It's not perfect, like I said, but this was my first one, and it's only going to get better as I go. So I'm going to continue to work with the next shots and continue to develop this skill.